Okay, ladies. Hello. How's everyone doing? How did your parents do your hair when you guys were younger?
So I was definitely one of those kids who I had to sit by the kitchen stove. And sit. My grandmother actually raised me, and so I had to sit by the kitchen stove. I had the stool. My grandmother sat in a chair, and literally it was a Saturday project for at least a good 5 or 6 hours. She would wash my hair by the kitchen sink, grab a pillow, the whole shebang, and then she would deep condition it. And then after that, she would press it out, and it was a long process.
We either have it straight and back or braided, or on Sunday we'll have Shirley Temple curls. I was born in 49, so it was probably in the early 50s. That was in the 60s, beginning part of the 60s, when James Brown came out with the song I'm Black and I'm Proud. Angela Davis had the big fro, and basically it was looked at that we need to embrace our heritage and not try to assimilate in the white culture. So the way to do that was to wear your hair natural. And we had big fros, little fros all the way out here, everything. We would not press our hair or anything. It was just wild.
How was that shift from the afro to the jerry curl, I think was after that?
Yeah, buddy, the greasy jerry curl.
The podcast, The Stoop, aired an episode about life after the greasy 80s.
After jerry curls, relaxers seemed to be the go-to thing for many people. And then,
when the jerry curl faded out, regular old relaxers were still an option. And I went back to a relaxer too. Then, in 2009, comedian Chris Rock produced a documentary called Good Hair after his daughter asked him, "Daddy, how come I don't have good hair?" In the documentary, he refers to chemical relaxers as creamy crack because they're applied in a white paste. And even though they're toxic, some people can't seem to quit them.
For me, I think it was just because I just got tired of the perms. I'm also very analytical, and I like to learn things, and I'm really inquisitive. So I started looking at the box, and I'm like, so what is this, and why is it going in my hair, and why does it feel like it's burning, and my hair will literally fall out if it stays in too long? I feel like this is something that's not supposed to go on my hair.
Currently, I've been liking to have my hair weaved up, but that's only because I'm trying to grow it out from having a perm. And hopefully soon one day go natural and be like these beautiful ladies here. But I have a long way to go.
Actually, that's how a lot of women ended up going natural, because they were just doing sewing after sewing. And it's like, okay, I got all this natural hair. What's the point of relaxing it again?
Even though more people are going natural, hairstylists aren't following suit with the trend. Part of the problem might be the places they go for training.
My name is Aisha Strickland. I am the co-owner of the Curl Society, also the co-founder of Black Girl Curls. I am a licensed cosmetologist in the state of Illinois, and I'm a content creator all through these internet streets. When you go to cosmetology school, when anybody goes to cosmetology school, they're teaching you the foundational aspects of hair. You are learning like foundational things. So you're learning about the structure of hair. You're learning about, basic shampooing and roller sets and things like that. The whole curriculum is really based off of straight hair, honestly.
Natural hair wasn't a big thing for us. One, I felt because our educators were predominantly white, and I felt like they weren't educated. One, and two, educated enough, even if they did get some information on it, to even teach, a curriculum on it.
Yes, you have to take extra classes for them, which is so crazy to me because everyone has texture in their hair. Even if you have straight hair, you have a tiny bit of texture in there.
After cosmetology school, most of us are going into continuing education classes where we're learning more stuff about whatever it is that we're interested in or whatever we study, or just to learn new techniques, learn the trends. So everybody's not investing in any continuing education.
If stylists aren't investing, that means most of them who claim to know natural hair are self-taught. But this independence often hinders the relationship between clients and hairstylists.
I can certainly recall, like, in my adulthood, every experience that I've had with a quote-unquote stylist that can manage natural hair has been terrible. So that's pretty much my exposure to a lot of stylists, like them thinking that they know what they're doing, us having what I'm thinking is a real authentic conversation because I'm doing my due diligence and coming prepared with questions, and then they're presenting themselves to be like, oh, qualified to do it, but they're not holding themselves accountable and saying, hey, I actually can't do it.
I've tried to go to stylists for my natural hair styling, and I'm usually just never really satisfied for it, so I usually do it myself. Or they do it and I'm not quite happy with it. It's not like exactly what I asked for. Like, it makes me feel like I'm a test subject when they're doing my hair.
Nicole is one of many naturals who have had a bad salon experience.
And I wanted an actual cut with layers in it, and it was terrible. Like, she cut my hair so short. The back of my hair like barely touched my neck, and I walked in with it past my shoulders. And so I think that maybe she just started trimming a little too quick and got scissor happy. And I wore my hair in buns until it grew back because it was so bad.
I think as a hairstylist personally, I will say that we take on challenges sometimes, and sometimes we really think we know how to do it and we take chances. Sometimes they're the wrong chances though. It's just we don't have enough knowledge about it, so we just try to go for it as professionals, and we kind of take what we know about straight hair and kind of try to incorporate that with curly hair, and it's totally not the same.
And so many stylists, because they're so used to working with weaves, relaxed hair, when someone comes in with natural hair, they treat it as a foreign object. And so they're either not combing it out correctly, they're tearing out the hair. It's just an unpleasant experience. So that one experience, a lot of the naturals is like, hey, we don't want to go to no salon because they don't know what they're doing. And unfortunately, right, they're right. A lot of them, they don't know.
I want somebody to sit down and tell me like, oh, you're low porosity. Cool. Here's how you can get moisture in your hair. I shouldn't have to go on YouTube and find out 2 years later that I've been doing something so wrong this whole time. I just need somebody to just know what the hell is going on. And they don't be knowing what the hell is going on.
I've definitely searched high and low for natural hairstylists. I have plenty of horror stories because it's like they just, to me, non-existent. Like Milwaukee natural hairstylists, I'm pretty safe to say that they're non-existent. Part of that reason is because even though all of us are natural, we all have a different hair texture. And really, natural hair is, to me, a science, because there's what works for, like you were saying, like what works for your hair may not work for my hair, the different products. So that's my belief as to why. And a lot of stylists here in Milwaukee are trying to make like quick money and haven't really taken the time. Like, yeah, they may be licensed, they did what they needed to do to get the check or the pass or whatever, but they haven't actually studied different hair textures and played around with different hair textures to become an expert in it. So
I think people feel like they think they know it, and so what they know is enough, and they don't need to know anything else. And plus, like for some stylists, like natural hair is like, no thanks, I don't want to do that. It's too much work. Again, I think the people who don't necessarily get to learn the science know what they know. They know what works. They don't know why it works, how it works.
So where can you go to learn how it works? The co-founder of Diva Curl created the Diva Cut, which is a technique to cut curly hair in its natural state, curl by curl. Madison had to travel to New York to become an advanced level 3 Diva Cut stylist, the highest certification for the class. The Diva Cut is more known for those with loose waves and bouncy curls with a silky surface texture. Aisha and her business partner Elise created a class to teach kinky textured natural hair, the type that isn't usually highlighted.
And yes, some people are teaching classes. We happen to be, one group of people teaching about texture hair care to consumers and to professionals. And we're getting ready to create a certification for what we teach to professionals. But we have professionals coming from all across the United States.
But where do the consumers go?
I did a lot of research on YouTube. I do a lot of research just online.
I usually just refer to YouTube.
And like YouTube, I'm like a candidate of YouTube University. I look for everything. Like you have YouTube, like you said, YouTube University and all that, and you can learn a lot from YouTube. But
hey guys, my name is Juliana Palencia, and welcome to my channel. Today,
YouTube was one of the only resources you could use to get a grasp of how to do your natural hair if you couldn't find a stylist. Women make videos and do product reviews, demonstrate techniques, and show what works or doesn't work for them. However, YouTube could be one reason why there aren't more natural hairstylists now.
You know, the natural hair community has kind of set it up where everything is just like this free-for-all. You go to free events, you get free products, you watch these free videos of people showing you how they do their hair, and then those people who are doing the free videos, in some cases, they're actually getting kickbacks from the brands via money and or products. And so it's gonna take, like, at some point we have to realize, like, how is free helping us? Like, if everything's free, like, and how has that free information helped you?
Here's the deal. When natural hair has been so DIY, the natural hair community has been so DIY that stylists don't even see the benefit in investing in the education. You're going to have to travel to the stylist who either can see the benefit, because you're not going to typically, unless you live in a large metropolitan area, you're not going to find a local hairstylist who has this very specialized knowledge, because a stylist has to see an economic benefit in actually going into those classes. And the thing is, not to say that the stylists aren't investing in the craft, but they're investing in the services that they know will make them money. They know they're taking classes in relaxers, they're taking classes in weave, they're taking classes in color, they're taking classes in something that is not so stereotypically DIY.
That's how the cycle starts. Naturals go to YouTube to figure out their hair because there are no stylists, but the stylists don't learn it because they think everyone just goes to YouTube.
But that was the only outlet I had at the time, because it's like, who's going to tell me about it, you know?
Because there was no one really here.
Exactly. And there wasn't even like beauticians like advertising that.
No one was advertising it. That was the problem.
Why do you think we wanted the relaxers or wanted the straight hair? Just weren't natural from the beginning.
Well, I'm going to say the most obvious reason is because there was a lack of representation. We didn't see it in TV. We didn't see it in the magazines. And that's where you saw what the definition of beauty was according to society.
I remember, like, I know how my natural hair looks because I remember from when I was younger. And it ain't no loose, bouncy curls. Not that that's the only way natural hair has to look. But, you know, that's what we see mostly. And I literally think to myself, like recently thought to myself, okay, you want to go natural, right? You're going to have to teach yourself how to accept your hair as it is. And that scares me because I don't want to nobody wants to look in the mirror and feel ugly.
you do see more women with that hair texture in a lot more commercials. Like, you notice it's like, you're like, oh, it's a black girl. But then you're like, oh, that ain't the hair. I thought, like, it's whole another type of hair. Like, not every black girl has this mixed type curl pattern.
For those who don't have that, it's just kind of like, well, where am I looking for inspiration and for, I mean, you got to look within for self-acceptance. I know that, but you know, it can be hard when you're surrounded by one thing. Like, I'm human at the end of the day. I'm affected by things I see.
But I understand that, you know, we're not going to get that kind of representation unless it's done by us. We can't really expect other people to do it.
If we don't suddenly start to put, you know, our best foot forward in that sense, like, hey, I'm natural, I can be in a corporate setting, I can close those deals, I can do this, I can do X, Y, Z. I don't need to succumb to what the societal standard is, and you can too. Representation is going to start to become more normalized, but it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because it's like, well, why do I need to do that? I'm still appeasing somebody by trying to, you know, stick out my chest and saying, hey, by the way, I'm here.
Overall, this is the conclusion we can make about the future for natural hair in Milwaukee.
The demand is not there yet. Honestly, the demand is not there yet. It's getting there.
And the natural hair community will continue to grow because hair means a lot to Black culture.
It's so important. It is such a deep-rooted part of who we are, and it's obviously something important to not only us, but our hair is important to all other races too, because it becomes such a big topic of conversation. I mean, just along with what's going to be allowed and not allowed in places of business as far as employees go and military, and it's just interesting that it's a very big topic of conversation is our hair and how many people walk past us and want to touch our hair and talk about our hair because it's just so different. It's a piece of me and it helps me to express who I am.
Being natural is an act of rebellion for me, to be honest. And I always say I never want to be put into a box. I never want to be made to conform. And so it's really just been a way for me to have my own identity.
You said for you, it's a form of rebellion. I feel like for me, being natural is a form of responsibility. And when I say that, I mean like, now that I'm natural, I am very intentional about my look because I know what it speaks to, and I know what it represents, and I know the type of impact that it has on people.
I love wearing an afro. It's very freeing, and I like that people, because I wear my afro, people are embracing themselves or are curious to see what their hair looks like, because it's not perfect all the time, and it's not always curly like this, you know what I'm saying? And I'm still rocking it like what?
This was a lovely conversation that I had with you. I'm thankful that you all wanted to be a part of this. Now, just a takeaway message for the hairstylists around the world, the country, whatever. You all feel like there is a market for them to learn natural hair. And I'm going to do it on 3. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah! All right. Well, that is it. This has been Carrie's Curl Conversation, and good night.